Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Trading Room. I'm Shane Vernier, and this is the U.S. Mid-Session Brief. Today, we're going to sort of preview the week ahead. We're going to talk about the weekend that was. I'm confident everybody had a great weekend, a nice Easter break. Today's Easter Monday in a lot of places, so we're not seeing really the big-time participation that we usually see with regards to a Wall Street Open. So I'm watching the charts. I'm not really overly inspired to do much of anything. We've got some just huge news stories that have come across the board over the weekend, and we talked a lot about escalation and what escalation in the Iran war was going to look like and what exactly that could do to the markets. And I think we're at a real tipping point. I think you're going to see escalation here very, very soon. And it looks like the United States is getting ready to raise the game. They're going to up the attacks a little bit. There's an ultimatum on the board that was interesting. It was all very interesting to me. Over the weekend, very, very almost shocked at some of the headlines that I saw. Amazing rescue mission that rescued a pilot out of Iran, and then we had some big strikes on infrastructure and Trump sort of running his mouth, and I mean this is wild stuff, guys. This is wild. And I don't really know exactly where anything's going, that's for sure. But what we can do is we can game plan and we can get ready for the week that's coming. We've got a big news week going. We've got FOMC minutes on Wednesday. That's going to be really a big economic event. And then you've also got CPI on Friday. CPI is always one of those things. We're going to cover that live early Friday morning before the U.S. Open. But I think that it's going to be a big week, and I think we're going to see some epic moves, some really large-scale shifts potentially in the world of finance. So I'm excited. I'm always excited to trade. I like to break down the markets and get in there whenever I can. Today, I know I'm saying this a lot lately, but today is probably not the day to force anything. I really don't believe that. So there's a lot going on here. So I want to welcome everybody out in YouTube land and also in the How to Trade community. Good to see you, Tina Jing. Good to see you, Tina. Welcome, Jason. Yo, Shane, Michigan cuts down the Nets tonight. I think so. I'm actually – I don't know. I hate coming out after the games and saying, "Oh, I bet this way." I had a bunch of money on UConn. I went big on UConn, and it panned out really well. So I'm still smiling. It was a good weekend for me, but really crazy news cycle. I think Michigan's got great defense. I wouldn't be surprised if they win by 20. Realistically, I don't know that UConn can hang. I really don't. Good to see you, Thamy. Good to see you, Thamy. Tina, yeah, that rescue story is super cool. It's an amazing story. If you believe it, in this day and age, we don't really believe much anymore. It's always so hard to know what's true and what isn't, but they sent a lot of guys in to rescue one pilot, which in the past they would never do because the risk of collateral damage is so large. Unbelievable story, unbelievable stuff, that's for sure. Over in the How to Trade community, good to see you, Tuku. Welcome, Bobby Bob. Always a pleasure, Bobby. Ralph H., Andrea Garwal, good to see you, Andrea. Welcome. Let's go ahead and get started with a trade idea. We had a sort of an interesting play that I think is going to come across the board and come our way here relatively soon. It's a 13-month EMA in this U.S. dollar Swiss franc. We're seeing the dollar really hang on and show a lot of gusto. I mean, right now it looks to me like money's piling into bonds. It's piling into bonds, and that's raising interest rates across the board. I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the bond yields today in the U.S. Treasuries, but the money is definitely starting to gravitate away from some of those conventional safe havens. Gold and silver, the big losers. There's no question about it. Even though they're still at an elevated state, it's bearish. It's heavy. I mean, the metals markets right now are heavy. A lot of that has to do with people believing they're overvalued. And also those yields, I told you about the risk-free rate. When you get a risk-free rate up around 5% or so, it's really tough to turn it down. So this is going to be an interesting trade. I think we're going to get this one probably tomorrow or the next day. I wouldn't be surprised, maybe even later today. But the U.S. dollar Swiss franc, we've got our 13-month EMA right there at about 80.69 in our trade ideas. Sort of got us setting up a short right there. I do like it. I think that's going to be a pretty good trade if we do get the opportunity to get in there with a little bit of conviction, I think that would be a great play really to start the week. So I'm not really overly optimistic about much anything else, though. I mean, I'm watching crude oil basically just explode right in front of our eyes. I mean, we're going to cover this on the weekly the weekly hot picks. This is a good look at the yen right here, but let's go ahead and pull up U.S. oil and just sort of show you what's happening. I mean, the week you opened, now you're sort of right around where you opened. And that always tells me that when you open at like a 112.96, somewhere in there, 113, and then we got a spike high to 115. I mean, this feels to me like it's a matter of time before we're up there right around 125, somewhere in that zone, maybe even 129, 130, 150. We have to start admitting that could really happen. When you see the news cycle, absolutely crazy news cycle coming out of Washington, D.C. and Trump, Truth Social. We're going to cover it. There was some foul language. There was some foul language put out by the leader of the free world. I can't even believe that a president these days is talking in that frank a fashion. I mean, I don't mind the language, but it was pretty harsh over the weekend. Sent some tweets out there that were unbelievable. So we're going to cover those. We're going to get you lined up and set. Boots on the ground. We were talking a lot about boots on the ground. It wasn't the invasion that we thought, but they did land a force inside of Iran. And they got in and got out. So I'm interested to see what the next shoe to drop is. I don't believe that anybody really knows. I really genuinely don't believe that anybody really knows what's going to happen over here. As far as the U.S. dollar goes, DXY, very, very important that we understand where the dollar is. Big deal. This is a big deal. This is a strong dollar. Now, you took a huge hit when Trump came into office, just a monster hit because we were thinking interest rate cuts. We're going to get the economy going, yada, yada, yada. Well, it hasn't happened. It just hasn't happened yet. And what we're seeing right here is definitely still in bearish territory. The DXY is still in bearish territory, but the game is changing. The game is changing dramatically. We're starting to price in rate hikes now, not rate cuts for the rest of the year. And it doesn't look like we're going to get an interest rate cut this year. So I'm interested to see what happens. I mean, this is like, for me, when you get these big geopolitical events and you get all this action in the markets, it's just like popcorn. I've got the popcorn, I'm watching the movie, and I go, this is amazing. So we're going to be in for some great trading, but I got to tell you, right now today, it's choppy. It's not the best. It's a Monday session. Don't limp into a trading week, but definitely come in a little bit cautious, especially today when we're talking about an Easter Monday, where it's still a holiday in a lot of places in the world. So that's for sure. Let me see. Let me see. Tina Jing on X, someone posted Trump's dead. I don't think Trump's dead, but this is crazy. I mean, we're in bonkers town right now. I mean, anything can happen, that's for sure. Joshua, good to see you, Joshua. Crazy news. Let me see. Callie Buckle. Will gold go up or down? I'll tell you what, I'll pull a gold chart here in a second. I'm not overly excited about the gold market at all. I think that it's in complete rotation. I think it's really a difficult market to trade right now. We're no longer just trending. We're starting to move sideways. We're starting to see a lot of what I call sweeps. We've seen a lot of retail longs just get annihilated in the last month or so. So it's going to be a challenge there, Callie, but I will pull the news, that's for sure. Or I'll pull the chart, and we'll have a look at it. Let me see. Similo, how's the Euro-USD pair? Yeah, I got Euro-US dollar up there. We're going to look at that one in just a second as well. Team Marina, happy Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Easter Monday, wherever you may be. If you do celebrate, that's fantastic. Marvel, good to see you. Marvel, greetings. All right, let's go ahead. We had a request for gold there, and then we'll get into the news here in just a second. The gold market is, of course, it's probably the most popular market in the world. Everybody loves gold. Everybody trades gold. Gold's always worth something, right? That's the big thing. Well, I don't see much of any advantage at all to trading gold right now. And I'm not trying to discourage anybody from trading gold. I don't see it. And the reason why I don't see it is we had a pretty darn good idea what was going to happen here. And I always go back to that because I'm trying to show exactly what a good setup looks like. I mean, that is the precursor to a move right there. 3-month compression and then a break. Now what do we have? We have giant monthly ranges. We have huge daily ranges. We've got one day we're up, one day we're down. One day we're up, one day we're down. This market has no direction. And the reason why it has no direction is because it is, in many folks' eyes, overvalued right now. Now, does that mean, okay, fine, I'll sell it and then we'll make, well, you can't really do that either because there's a lot of money that's coming into safe havens. Believe it or not, even though gold's down, there's still money coming into the metals markets because you have to put your cash somewhere when you're faced with a geopolitical situation like we do. But honestly, the precipice of World War III or World War IV, depending on how you count it. I mean, we are right there. We are right there. There's no question about it. Not being an alarmist, not being an edge stepper. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but we have to be realistic about what's happening here. This thing is escalating, and a lot of folks believe that it would. A lot of folks believe that it would be over in 4 days. The United States is in there. I was reading an article here in a second. I'm going to show you. Russia pulled out a bunch of their scientists out of Iran, and I go, Russia's got scientists in Iran? You guys see what I'm getting at. The world right now is being carved up into different sections, and this is just it's bonkers town. It really is crazy. I mean, I'm smiling, but it's really, really, really something. I mean, we're living history right now, so enjoy it. Enjoy it. That's all I can say. As far as the gold market, I mean, you can buy gold, you can sell gold, you can do whatever you want with it. For me, it's got to move. So a very tight open to April. April's trade, even though we're only in the 6th day of the month, still very tight. I mean, gold's not doing much of anything. I love 44.33. That 38% level probably would be a pretty good bid. I don't know that I would be holding a position from there, though. I don't know that this market has a way. You know what I mean? I don't see going long, going short being a great idea. I think that if you're going to do it, scalp it. Get in, hit it, take the money, move on to the next trade. As far as picking a direction in gold right now, I don't believe it can be done. Gun to my head, what do I want to do? Probably hold longs, just because that's what we've been doing for so long now, 2 years, 3 years. What I would say, though, is just scalping. And scalping right there, that's a pretty darn good support level, 44.33, 44.35, not bad. I don't believe that we're going to go down and trade beneath last month's lows. I don't see that happening at all. But if it does, you've got a 50% retracement right down around 4,071, and you've also got a 13-month EMA. So that could be a pretty good entry. I just hate 50%. I like 50 cent. I don't like 50%. So what I would say is just be very conservative here. If we go to the lower time frames, you're going to see exactly what's happening, and it's just really, I call it chunky. It's kind of garbage. I mean, right there is your 38% level that I outlined. Probably that would be your long entry. As far as buying or selling right now, I think it's a fool's errand. I don't believe that you can call. I know you can't call today's market because look how tight it is. We're trading inside of Friday's range. So very, very tight, or Thursday's range because we had the long holiday. But right now you're just tight. Nothing's happening. And when nothing's happening, we have to be smart about what we do. And you don't just jump in and say, okay, I'm going long, I'm going short. Why? You don't have to do anything. Believe me, you don't work at Goldman and Sachs. You don't work for JP Morgan. Nobody's saying, hey, how many trades did you make today? You don't have to trade today. Matter of fact, I would advise against it. I would come in tomorrow ready to go. Tuesday session, ready to go on Tuesday's session. But this right here, long or short right now, I'm neither. I'm completely neutral. But if you guys are trading gold, I mean, short time frames, take a look at the 30-minute chart. I mean, it's just a mess. There's nothing there. Look at it. You go back to about 1:30 a.m. So right in here is going to be your London Open. Nice rally. And then we just sort of compress down, and there's just not much action at all happening during the U.S. session. And a lot of it has to do with Easter Monday. A lot of folks didn't show up to work today. A lot of folks took the day off. If you took the day off, it's not a bad thing. Holy cow. Crude oil is exploding right now. Let's go to a 30-minute chart on U.S. oil. There's your move. 30-minute chart. So we just started 15 minutes ago, and you're up about 1.25% That means that this war is escalating. Did we hit him? What is it? Trump said he was going to hit him and then make it an energy war, start blowing up power plants, stuff like that. Oh, man, what a mess. What a mess. Let's see. SG, good to see you. Hello. How you been? I've been doing very, very well, SG. Thank you. Let me see. Team Marine, I got a good question here. Hey, Shane, when TradingView's latest update states equities rise while oil dips and as U.S. and Iran weigh next steps, how should that be interpreted when trading the U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, or any related pair? The first thing I would do, T, is I would always probably favor the dollar right now, especially when you see anything that says chaos, bigger steps, more unknowns. What we don't know, we don't know. Some things like that, I would always favor the dollar right now. It's clear that we're seeing capitulation where a lot of folks are just bailing out everything and they're going to cash. And why would you go to cash? You go to cash because you can get those bigger interest rates right now. They're not big. They're not huge yields. But 5%, that 10-year treasury, 4.5%, 5%, is that a better idea than buying $4,500 gold? A lot of folks believe it is. So it's a great question. As far as the dollar yen, I mean, I'm more than more than happy to pull a chart, but I would favor the dollar. And you can see right here, you can definitely see the correlation between oil and the dollar right now. As oil goes up, that means uncertainty is going up. The VIX right now is relatively flat, the volatility index. So as the dollar goes up, you're starting to see, as oil goes up, you're starting to see the dollar goes up. Now, that's not the relationship. That's not the correlation. Typically it's an inverse. As the dollar gets stronger, oil goes down. Well, that's not the world we're living in right now. We're living in a marketplace where we are trying to price in the unknowns. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to price in how the Iran war works out. That's all that's happening right here. So you're seeing money coming into the dollar. You're seeing money coming into crude oil, right? Makes sense. I mean, oil, clearly, it's a supply issue. Okay, well, that's great. Typically, you don't see those two run in tandem, but you're seeing it now. So what would that mean to say something like the dollar yen? It's going to be completely bullish. I'm a big fan of the yen. I had the yen making a big move on the U.S. dollar this year. Hasn't happened. Pull back right there, 38% intraday trade. The bidder stepped up and it's a trend. So we're starting to break out to the top side. Very, very difficult for me to say exactly how high we go in this dollar yen, but I do believe that we're not done going up. We're not done going up. I'd be looking at that high right there, right around 160, 195, which is right around 162s. Typically, that is where the Bank of Japan, at least in the past, has made their move. They've stepped up and they've made sure that they put the yen was losing so much puff against the dollar. If you guys remember that, we got up to 162, and basically the BOJ got in there and they bought a ton of yen. They took a bunch of yen off the market, make it more valuable, right? So the big thing that I would be looking at right there is 162. So not 162.18, but just dial this in on your charts. Be very, very exact and precise. Your broker's probably going to have a little bit different number than that, but 160, 195, 162, big time level. If you take that one out, I mean, there really are no rules on how high this thing can go. But I would expect some static there. I would expect some sellers to step up and defend that 162 level with a little bit of conviction. I think that's definitely going to be the case there. And remember, if you want to trade any of these ideas that we're talking about, head on over to switchmarkets.com. Bring your ambition, your trading ambition into focus. Fast deposits and withdrawals, they've got it all for you. Just go ahead and check it out. Excellent. Remember, How to Trade has partnered with Switch Markets. And the idea here is to try to build great traders. And there's several of you that are in these rooms that you're building your game. I mean, I always smile because the folks that show up and the folks that work hard every day at this craft can get very good at it. And it is possible. Believe me, no matter what you hear out there, it's very possible. But you gotta be approaching these markets from a position of strength. You need to have your goals. You need to understand what you want to do. And if you do that, you're going to be in a great position. And then also the 3 Ds, desire, dedication, and drive, discipline. Well, that's 4 Ds. But if you got the Ds, desire, drive, discipline, if you got those, then you're going to have an opportunity to win. And that's what this is all about. Remember, the markets are a big place. They are a big, big place. There's so much money in there, you can't comprehend it. So if you get in and you get yours, that's fantastic. I mean, it's very, very possible. Very, very possible. As far as what I would say moving forward, I got to really watch my language because I'm reading Trump's posts and everything is so supercharged right now. And people are worried. They're scared. They don't know what's going to happen. A lot of opinions, a lot of political divide. In the United States, it's been, the last 10 years, it's been really, really bad. People don't see eye to eye at all, really, on anything. And this is a situation where this war is going to break this week. They're either going to get a resolution and it's going to be over, or it's going to escalate. And right now, what you're seeing in the markets is a very, very timid investor class that is getting ready to run to bonds and just taking the 5% yields. And what that means is they don't want gold anymore. They don't really want silver anymore. You can buy oil, but, oil's so crazy that it takes a fortune to hold positions in oil. But a bond, I always say that if you show up, let's say you don't show up with, 25 or 30,000. Let's say you show up with, 300 million. Do you just take the 5%? 7% is pretty much what all venture capitalists would sell their souls for. If they get 7% annually, that's what they would do. 5% though, in this environment, excuse me. Oh, my allergies are killing me. In this environment, a 5% return, pretty much everybody's taking it right now, and that's what we're seeing. So definitely. Let's see. SG, what are your thoughts on the Euro Great Britain pound? All right, I'll pull a Euro Great Britain pound. Excuse me. Absolutely brutal. The trees here started popping. I got a little bit of a tan. The sun came out, and the trees started popping. The lilacs are actually starting to bloom out back. Tough on the allergies. Euro Great Britain pound, we actually had this trade idea out forever. It turned out to be a really good one, 38% down there, about 86.27. You also have the moving average, the 13-month EMA is right up there, right at about 86.58. So that area between 86.75-ish, probably at 86 and a quarter. Pretty good downside support. Right now we're trading about 87.26. Once again, it's always hard to get in here and make a call and say, okay, Shane, do you like it up or do you like it down? And I go, man, just nothing really happening. It's a very, very tight market. It's a rotational market. I would say that it's flat. Flat markets are great, but trying to pick a direction, very difficult. So, most of what I do trading-wise is predicated upon the market being in a state of disequilibrium. I want to see it move. I want to see the market make a commitment. I want to see it move down to my support. I want to see it make a move up towards resistance. And right now, very, very, very tight for the last week or so in this Euro Great Britain pound. So if you look at that on a monthly, and I understand most folks here are intraday traders, and you're saying, what does a monthly chart have to do with it? It has everything to do with it. This is really tight stuff. It's really tight. And what I would be doing is waiting for this thing to move and then trade it. But right now you're starting to get a little bit of a move. So I understand why you want to talk about the Euro Great Britain pound. I don't have a problem with it. Right there, volume came in, about 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So nice volume came in, had some bidding. Now we have compression, and now we're looking maybe to break. So if you were going to make a play on this, I think it's going to be tough. I really do. But, if you were going to buy this market, you could buy it right here, stop yourself out beneath the daily low, and maybe shoot for this right up here, the top side of the market. So what we would be doing, essentially, is we'd be saying, okay, well, let's go long here. Stop out's got to be down in here somewhere, and you're going to shoot for the top of market structure, which is up there, basically, what we're looking at there on the 3rd of April. So is it great? Holiday trade. Friday was a holiday. Today's kind of a holiday. I wouldn't be doing anything. I really wouldn't. I would wait. I would let today set up and maybe come in tomorrow being a little more aggressive. But as far as what you could do right now, I could see where you would want to get long to try to play the breakout. But as far as do you have any confidence in it? That upper Bollinger Band it's been pretty I don't know, I guess stubborn. It's been actually fantastic topside resistance. But now you're looking maybe to break. If you do break and maybe get a 30-minute close above the upper Bollinger there, maybe. Personally, I would pass. That's just my opinion. I would pass. I would pass on that one. Good question, though. What are my thoughts on the Euro Great Britain pound? Come back tomorrow. Check it again tomorrow, SG. That's what I would say. Let me see. I don't love trading on Mondays either. Marvel, I don't really do it anymore. I don't really trade Mondays. Tough day to trade. Coming out of the weekend, there's so much typically going on. It does take us a little bit of time to sort of get acclimated to the trading week. A lot of people don't believe that. They just show up and play their system, and that's great. I think that's fantastic. If you can make something like that work for you, fantastic. I know me, though. Some of my worst days have been Mondays. And for whatever reason, sometimes I show up ready to go. Sometimes I don't show up ready to go. And I said, you know what? Let's just take Monday and game plan and, make a couple little trades, but nothing big. And then when we start getting when we want to get after it, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, no question. And even this Friday we have CPI, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to do that either. Let me see. Tina Xing, does the 10-year Treasury only for U.S. residents to buy? No, you can buy 10 years if you want. You can invest. There's a lot of a lot of hedge funds internationally always hold a little bit of 10-year Treasuries. That's sort of the benchmark for the U.S. Bond market, the 10-year note, and that attracts a lot of foreign money. So no, you can buy Treasuries if you want to. If you want to, you may not want to after hearing Trump's tweets over the weekend. Got some foul language going. Let me see. Marvel, how much is the minimum deposit on switch markets? 50 pounds, I believe. What does it get started for as little as 50 pounds? There you go. $50. There it is, $50 right there. Which is actually a lot of folks are like, it's only $50. And I go, yeah, you're going to learn though. If you're going to learn, start small. Start with 50, Work your game out, get your game together, and then you go into 50,000, right? Or that's the idea. Maybe not 50,000, but my first trading account was $3,000. That's what I had to work with. Was 3,000, and the idea was prove to me that you can make money with this 3,000, and if you can, I'll give you 30. So I said, all right. So you have to start somewhere. Everybody's got to start somewhere, and a lot of people, especially online, and the online environment is just savage. I mean, people are savage out there, and like if you're starting, well, I'm just a small trader. Everybody's a millionaire on X. Everybody's a millionaire on TikTok. Everybody's trading these huge accounts. You don't have to do that. You can start small and work your way up and scale your way up. And man, that's what I recommend. I mean, because if you make pennies, you can make dollars, and that's the honest to God truth. If you can make pennies, you can make dollars. The mechanics are no different. The only thing that's different is the position size and the psychology. But, got to start somewhere. That's for sure. Let me see. Fair. Absolutely, SG. I think I would avoid the Euro Great Britain pound for right now. Wait for this thing to open up a little bit. Absolutely, Marvel. Let me see. Frez, I'm so glad I caught this. I keep missing your streams. Well, thank you for dropping in. I sure appreciate it. Today, we've got a few ideas out there. We're going to look at the Euro USD here in a second, US 500. Also, that dollar Swissy. That's probably my top one right now is the dollar Swissy. But the rest of it is it is a train wreck. I'm watching U.S. oil right now about a 113.25. Man, it looks like somebody knows something, that's for sure. All right, let's dive into some of our fundamentals here, and we'll talk a little bit of fundamentals. If you have any questions at all, be sure to ask. If you have any more markets you'd like me to look at, be sure to drop them in the live chat. I'm more than happy to help. Week 15, I believe it's week 15 or week 16, whatever. This will be my last week here until next week. I'm going to go on a little vacation, and then I will be back towards the end of April. It's sort of a belated spring break. I like to go hard. I like to go hard through Q1, put together really some good trading months in January, February, and March. For me, a lot of folks like to kick off for spring break in March. I don't like that. March is typically a great month, so I like to run through March and the first couple weeks of April, and then take a little bit of a break. If you don't take a break from the markets and what we're involved in here, as far as buying and selling and the money and always trying to stay on top of your business, you need to take a break because it will wear you down. Now, you never take a break when you're winning, of course. If you're running really hot in the markets, you need to keep going. But for me, I've found over the years that a break is always a good idea around tax time. I don't like the psychology of the taxes getting involved with my trading because the taxes as a trader are a little bit different. You have to write typically one big check as opposed to it always being held out of your paycheck. So when you have to write one big check, it can really mess with your psychology. I learned very early on that when I started having conflicted emotions about taxation and about it really spilled into my game. And as far as my speculation and what I was doing in the markets, I always suffered because I was angry about having to pay the big tax bill. And I learned a while ago that, well, Shane, why don't you just take a vacation during tax time? So that's exactly what I do now. So I'm going to be out next week, but I will be back. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be back. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to go down, get a little bit of sun, get a little tan, maybe stretch the legs a little bit, run on the beach down in Florida. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good time. So next week I will be gone. Actually, I'll be gone for about 10 days there. So the next stream after Friday will probably be, let's see, the whole following week I'm out, and then the first 2 days. So probably a week from Wednesday. No, 2 weeks from Wednesday will be the next live stream after this week. That was confusing. I made that way too hard. But that's what we're looking at here. In any case, today is the Iran war, and we had some treasury auctions we're going to look at here in a second. Tomorrow, relatively quiet. No huge bangers. But, I mean, honestly, the 48-hour deadline that ends tonight, we're going to cover that in a minute. That's the big one. That's what everybody right now is trying to price. Wednesday, FOMC minutes. That's a big event. We usually have a lot of viewers tune in for that, so we'll be covering that for you. Thursday, initial jobless claims. I'm not really too blown away by anything that's happening Thursday, but the initial jobless claims numbers are starting to get more and more traction as we start really thinking about what is going to happen to the United States and the global economy with regards to the Iran war. So we're watching that for Thursday. Friday, U.S. CPI. We're going to have CPI live for you. I'm going to be up bright and early. Money never sleeps. Well, maybe it's going to sleep Friday, right? No, it's going to be an active session. We're going to see a lot of action on that latest CPI number. Everybody expects it to really climb. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not necessarily sure what I think just yet, but people believe that it's going to spike in a big, big way. News of the day, 3-month and 6-month T-bill auctions. Yields are up, no question about it. 3.635 on that 3-month, and the 6 months, they're at 3.615. Those are ticking higher relatively consistently as monetary policy gets a little bit tighter here in the United States. Essentially, what we're looking at is just different interest rate expectations. So when we look at a Fed watch, we've got 23 days to the next meeting. And what does that mean exactly? Well, typically, we're looking at about a 99.5% chance that rates get held firm where they're at now. But take a look at this. And I know it's small. I know that's a 0.5%. Nobody's even thinking about that. That's for sure. That's for sure. But we are pricing a rate hike. We are pricing a rate hike. So that's brand new. That wasn't even on the register back in January. There was nobody even talking about rate hikes. I was talking about maybe 2% by the end of the year, aggressive rate cuts. It's not happening. It is not happening. So this is a big deal, and one of the things that are going to drive those bond yields is essentially we believe that monetary policy is going to get tightened, meaning we are going to see dollars come out of the system as opposed to go into the system. And that is a big, big move from where we were just about a month ago, 2 months ago. 79% chance that we are going to stay firm. We're pricing in about a 10% chance of a rate hike by the end of the year, and maybe even a 10% chance of a rate cut. You see this right here. This means that nobody knows what's going to happen. Nobody even really wants to venture, I guess, at this point. So that's for sure. Crazy stuff, wild stuff, that's for sure. No question, no question. US 500, interesting chart. Let's go ahead and pull this one on the weekly. You can see we've got a nice spike high right up there, right around 69. Down right to that low, right around 63.11, and we've broken above 38%. So the buyback apparently is on. This really is the onset of your war, essentially. Last week, big rebound, and now we're pulling, potentially getting some more bids here to open the week. It's just a really flat day in my view. I don't see much of a gain today at all. I would be surprised if U.S. stocks go off the board in the green. I really would. In any case, big-time topside resistance up here at 62%, right around 6,700. You've got moving average. You've got a 13-week EMA up there at 66.93. You've also got a Bollinger midpoint right around 66.89. Something like that. So that's an interesting place up there. I would probably be looking to short the market with both hands if we do get an opportunity up there to trade. But right now we sort of have a failed auction developing over last week's high. Last week's high is 66.10, and you can see this US 500 went to about 66.20, and since then it's reversed. It's come off about 25 points, something like that. So I'm a bit skeptical about taking any risk today. And the reason why was the news cycle over the weekend, that's for sure. Let's see. All right, way behind on the chat, guys. I'm sorry, I always get behind on the live chat. Applying the same discipline on the small account to the big account. Well, yeah, if you can do it. Listen, there's no two ways about it. There's no two ways about it. When you start trading bigger size, things change. things change. It's just the way that it is. I mean, you can sit there with $50 that you probably really don't care about, and you're going to trade it. You're going to think, whatever. We win some, we lose some, whatever. It's only $50, right? Well, kick that up to $5,000 or $50,000, and as soon as that money becomes a part of your life, and you need that money, then the emotion comes into it. So, I'm not kidding you. If you can make pennies, you can make dollars. There's no question about it. But you also have to be ready to make the money. You have to be ready to say, okay, today we're going to play for $10,000. And I'm gonna walk out. If things go well, I'm gonna walk out with $3,500 or $4,000. That's what a lot of day traders do. They do that for a living. Personally, I think that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of capital. I mean, I'm more than happy to play, a little bit smaller than that, but you have to play high enough to where it's worth your time. At the end of the day, you're not going to be able to turn $50 into $3 million or $5 million or whatever your goal is. But what you can do with that $50 is set the stage for you to be able to make a run at some of those financial goals that we all have. We're all here for money. That's it. We're here to make money. We're here to play the game and make money. And it is a game. Believe me, it is a game. But what you bring to the table is, number one, dedication, discipline, drive, all those things. But number two, also your own expectations. You have to remember that your goals are not the same as J.P. Morgan or Goldman and Sachs. Completely different goals. They're bent on world domination. They have to make $1 billion a quarter or else their stock price crashes. You don't have to do that. You can show up and say, okay, well, what do I need to make this week? What do I need this week? $1,000? $1,500? Okay. How do I get there? That's the only question. What do I need and how do I get there? That's it. It's possible. That's for sure. Have a good vacation. Yeah, Eli, I'm going to have a good one. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this week, though. I really want to get this week in the books. I feel like it's going to be a really good one. It's going to be crazy. What's going to happen in the next 36 hours is going to be crazy, but it's going to be fun. Let me see. Fressy, my mother and father want to trade but can't be asked to invest time and want me to basically trade for them. I trade aggressively. Any tips to give them since I don't want to copy my portfolio? Well, the aggressive thing is, oh man, what a question. I've been asked by a lot of family members, not a lot of them, but several, to trade their money. And one of the ways that I typically deal with it, the answer is typically always no, because I don't want to mix family and money up. I've been in business with family members in the past, and it just really, when things go great, everybody's happy. But in this game, things don't always go well. And sometimes you go through a tough month or a tough 2 months. And what you'll find, Fressy, is the pressure that brings may actually hurt your performance. It didn't work for me. The only money I could ever trade realistically, well, I've traded prop too, but the only money I could ever trade was my own that I felt good about. And I've been approached by people that had money. And I said, listen, the buy-in, number one, I try to discourage everybody right off the bat. I said, the buy-in for me to trade your money, you don't have enough money. Because think about it. If you're going to think, okay, put yourself in your position right there, Fressy. Your mom and dad come to you, and that's great that they want you to trade, and they have confidence in you, and that's fantastic. But let's say they gave you $100,000. Okay, and let's say you pulled a 50% return in the first 6 months. Let's say you made 50 on their 100. Okay, what is worth your time there? It's 50,000. They're going to want the 50,000 for their returns because they figure, well, we're putting the money up, we're taking the risk, and you're like, yeah, but I'm doing all the work. So what is it? A 50-50 split? 80-20 split? 70-30 split? It's one of the reasons why I really got away from prop trading is I hate splitting it with anybody. Trading, people don't respect how really tiring this can be. Some days it's so easy, and some days it's so hard. But the stress of putting the money in play, I can't tell anybody here what to do. I'm not a financial manager. I can't tell you this. I have shut that down immediately in my life. Well, how much would it take, Shane? If you want to trade my money, I go, no, you don't have enough. I mean, it's sort of being smug and being coy about it, but I go, you don't have enough. So that's sort of what I do. But it's a great question, Presley. I've been asked. Tina Jing, have a great holiday. I will. I absolutely will enjoy it. Thank you. Thank you for the kind wishes. Let me see. Marvel. Hello, Sir Shane. Please take me along on your break vacation so I can help and roll in the boat as we fish together. Yeah, I'm going fishing. I'm going to try to go fishing. That's for sure. Let me see. Arun. Good to see Arun. The game is you versus you and your psychology 100%. There's some people that are great traders that just can compartmentalize all of it. They can put it all together, and they don't care about the money. They don't care about anything but just executing their trades, and those are the best players. You know, men, women. I mean, women. There's statistics out there that show women are better traders just because they don't get to the ego. Man's ego can be a real problem. Not being able to turn loose of bad positions. That's what kills everybody in this game. Not being able to cut one loose, just cut that thing off. There's a lot of empirical studies out there that show that women are better at that. Personally, I don't know that it's a gender thing. I think that it's more along the lines of just some people can do it, and what it is being able to hold on and let go all at the same time. I've said that a million times. You know, if you're going to trade, you got to be able to hold on and let go. Like what I mean by all of it is, okay, let's say that you're trading, and let's say that you loved this short, and you've been shorting the S&P 500, and you love it, and you know as soon as price breaks and closes above 38% that you got to get out. Do you have the ability to cut that thing off, even if this trend continues? Can you cut it off and take that small loss, as opposed to, well, I'm just gonna let it go. Well, maybe it goes in your favor. Maybe it blows up in your face. That's what trading's about. It's one of those things where if you're in a trade, this one's a little bit different than the last one. What do I do here to make sure that I'm always safe? It's easier said than done. Euro USD. I definitely want to show you guys this level as well. I've been harping on this one for quite a while. 113.52. That's a big zone. That's a big 38% retracement on this monthly sequence. But you've also got that 13-period EMA, that 13-month EMA right there. That is a big deal, and that's right around 115. So I'd be watching 115 closely. An absolutely incredible support zone. Once we break, or if we do break beneath that moving average, more than likely we're going down to the 38% level. It's going to be 113.52. So I'm not long, I'm not short. As far as picking a direction, right now you're starting to see that common theme for Easter Monday. It's very tight, very tight. Ralph H., let's see. We'll try not to contact you while you're on vacation. You guys can contact me whenever you want. No problem at all. Send me a message over at How to Trade. I'll get back to you. Probably not when I'm out of the office, but as soon as I get back in, I'll be sure to catch up on everybody's messages. That's for sure. Let me see. Camco, great long game. Absolutely. Camco, $2.6 billion, signs long-term uranium supply agreement with India. U.S. government, $80 billion. Camco, huh? Does it have a ticker on it? Camco Corporation, 1 month chart. You might be able to get a pullback here. 38%, 62% right at 100. I mean, that was the bid. That was the bid. So you're 100, now you're up to 110. That's a nice 10% pop there, probably for just a week or so, 2 weeks. Interesting because they're talking about uranium. What do you guys think the uranium's all about? The U.S. government buying uranium. It's not for nuclear weapons. We got plenty of nukes. It's for the AI. It's for energy. They're going to build those localized reactors, and uranium's going to be a big part of that. Man, this world's moving fast, isn't it? That's for sure. Hello, sir. Love from India. Thank you, PBX. I sure appreciate it. Let me see. Tina Jing, you can't trade for other people? I can't. I could probably be persuaded if there was enough zeros behind the one. but I don't know. It's one of those things where everybody's got their own goals in the market. Everybody's got their own goals. And one of my goals, I'll just shoot you straight. One of my goals back coming off the meltdown of 2011 and 12, was to be able to support myself. I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to be sort of beholden to my skills in the market. And I didn't want to work for a firm. I never wanted to work for a firm. A lot of folks they want to learn how to trade and they want to go to work for the big dogs. They want to be on Wall Street and they want to do all that. I never wanted to do any of that. I never wanted to be on Wall Street. I always sort of wanted to live out in the country and do my own thing and be able to generate capital from probably the greatest, in my view, the greatest opportunity in the world is to be able to get into these markets and be a trader. To me, that's what I wanted to do, self-contained, sort of a self-made type of a thing. And that was my goal. I never wanted to be the Yale PhD, skull and bones, working on Wall Street, making $1 million a year. I wanted to be a pit trader. I would have done that, but that would have been in Chicago. But I would have went to the Chicago pits in a minute if they still had the pits, just to go be a pit trader and have some fun and have an exciting life. That's what I would have done. But my goals were just to be self-contained. Didn't have to make $1 million. Don't need the Bugatti. Don't need the private jets. Don't need any of it. But a lot of folks are driven differently. They have different goals. They want to be the big, the superstar Goldman and Sachs trader that's got 50 screens in front of him managing, $100 million or $200 million. And that's great. If that's what you want to be, go get it. Go after it. Get the education, make the contacts, work your way up through the industry. That's great. But for me, I just never wanted that. I'm sort of a small town guy, sort of a country boy, and been very fortunate. Been very fortunate to still be in these markets. So yeah, I mean, it can be anything you want it to be. Let me see. Arun, trading is the game for the most difficult ways to make easy money. Yeah, it's the hardest way to make an easy buck, right? Yeah. Totally agree. Thank you, Tina. I sure appreciate that. Let me see. Fressy, I appreciate you. I value that advice. Thank you. No, thank you. I appreciate you guys showing up. A lot of you show up every single day, and that's really amazing to me. A lot of thanks. Really a lot of thanks. A lot of gratitude. Let me see. Is the Euro USD correlated with the Great Britain Pound USD? Yeah, I mean, in the way that they're both USD, they're based on the dollar. So, like, let's say if you're going to see a correlation there, you're going to see the dollar get stronger, and you're probably going to watch those two trend. Well, they're going to be bearish trends, and they'll both sort of mirror each other. I mean, we can take a look at it. Great Britain Pound USD. Let's see. Freedom. Ralph H. Freedom. That's exactly right. That's why I got into this game. Freedom. Right there, 78%, 132. 132 is big. Okay, so if we're looking for a correlation between the Euro USD and the Great Britain Pound USD, we got to get back to this, though. We got to talk about that a little bit. But this right here, you can see you're down, right? You're down, and then you're down. Now, that doesn't move exactly correctly, but yeah, typically if you see the dollar make a rally, it's going to make a rally against all the majors. That's why I don't recommend everybody trading 5 majors, have 5 trades out on the majors at once. Pick the one you like. Pick the one with the tightest spreads and the one where you have the biggest edge, and just trade, just a few of those. You don't need to be trading. What is there? 8 majors? I don't even remember. 8 majors. You don't need to be long or short on all the majors at one time. That's a bad idea. You're going to get chewed up because eventually you're going to lose. Something's going to happen to the dollar, and you're going to lose all your trades. So this is an interesting chart, though. Thank you for bringing this up, the Great Britain Pound USD. You see we came right down to 78%, 132, big. Last month's low is right there at 130, 159. If you do sell off beneath that level, you're probably going to make a serious run. It's probably going to be a breakout. So be very careful. If you want to hold longs from here, I don't hate it. I don't hate the trade just because you got 132 as big, robust downside support. So if you're holding longs, it's not bad. Just be ready, because if you go beneath 132, you got to go. You got to get out of there, because if you come down here and you trade beneath last month's low, there's a very, very high probability that you're going to run all the way to this swing low, which is down here at 130. And you don't want to be holding longs when we're trading down in here. You don't want to do that. That is just not a good idea. So interesting point there on the Great Britain Pound USD. Definitely good stuff. That's for sure. I mean, I like it. Potentially we might get a trade idea that's going to play a breakout there. I think that's possible as well. Let me see. Marvel, trading in the pit. Yeah, I always wanted to be a pit trader. My uncle was an upstairs trader. The guys I learned from were retired pit traders that had moved to the screen. And some of the stories they would tell you. Some of the stories, I won't mention the gentleman's name because I don't know if he wants me to mention it live, but he was, realistically, the lifestyle was you'd show up in January and you'd cash in with $100,000, and by the end of the year you'd cash out with over $1 million. And he said, I did that 5 years in a row. And I went, wow, I mean, that's so much money. I mean, back then too, you're talking about the mid-'90s, early '90s to mid-'90s. That was so much money. And so a lot of times he was telling me they would go into the pit, and he goes, we'd hit a big trade in the morning. Sometimes we'd hit a big trade in the morning, and we would be 12 deep around the bar by noon, and they were rock stars. That's what he said. He says we were rock stars, and so yeah, I wanted that, not necessarily for all the money or the notoriety or anything, just the action. I thought the action would have been fun. I thought it would have just been fun, but they don't have pits anymore. We have screens, and it's hard for us too because we're social people. I mean, people are social, and so when you lock somebody in a room and you make them trade for 50 hours a week or 60 hours a week, you really start to lose track of what it is to be human after a while. So that's why we have these trading rooms, and everybody gets to weigh in. You guys want to say something, say it, because this can be a very lonely endeavor. There's no question about it. No question about it. But like Ralph says, freedom, freedom is a big deal. To me, it is. You can really make a lot. You can craft your life, any way you want it. As long as you got the money coming in from the market, you can do whatever you want. It's just a challenge to number one, get to that point, but also to manage it. A lot of folks in this game hit it big, and they can't handle it. So it's one of those deals where you'll sit around with your fingers crossed. Oh, I want to be a millionaire trader. I want to be a millionaire trader, and then one day you're going to be a millionaire trader. And how do you handle it? You see it all the time. I mean, watch television. You see it in the reality shows. You see people that hit it big and they can't handle it. So keep your feet on the ground. 1, 2 feet on the ground. Head out of the clouds. Let's be realistic about what we're doing here and really treat this opportunity as being a positive, because it can be incredibly positive. It can also be very negative. And so if you find the trading's taking you down maybe a wrong path in life, maybe it's maybe you're losing. Maybe it's stressing out your personal relationships. Maybe it's putting too much pressure on your family. Maybe you're making too much money and you're starting to do really stupid stuff outside of your own character. Then it's time just to get away from it. That's what I always say. I said, as soon as it stops becoming fun, I will stop showing up. But I have a good time. I have a pretty good time in the market, so that's for sure. Let's see. You're a free spirit. Pretty free spirit, Tina. Yeah. I sort of do what I want. That's for sure. But hey, listen, it's all work before play. There's no question about it. You got to work. I mean, this is not an easy lifestyle. It is not. Let me see, T Marina. Yeah, you're really just trading one big trade when you trade all the majors, it's all just one big. It's just one big roll. I don't recommend that. I really believe that a person should diversify a little bit. Maybe a couple of Forex majors you like, maybe some commodities that you like, maybe an index here and there, maybe some international indices, maybe a little bit of crypto. I believe that's the way. I really do. You don't want to get exposed and lose it all on one trade, because anything can happen day to day. Anything can happen. Let me see, Small Yeezy. Good to see you, Small. Successful trading is boring. Eli, God, give me a boring business. Please give me a boring business. I think James Vanderbilt said that. Yeah, Tina, not a lot of people can handle wealth or fame. They can't. You see it. You guys see it. Go on social media. Watch people that just get famous out of nowhere, and they lose it. All right, let's talk a little bit of depressing stuff, and then we're going to go ahead and sign off. But you guys got to know this stuff going into the overnight session, that's for sure. U.S. forces enter Iran. Yeah, they already did. They went in and did the pilot extraction, and I believe that counts. So this is not really what we were looking for here as far as an invasion goes, but they did. They entered in. They sent in, I believe, 300 guys. It was an amazing story. But there's going to be some things that are happening here relatively soon that are going to be crazy. Let's see, Iran ceasefire. Do we believe that's going to happen? I believe the United States was asking for a ceasefire. Still very, very low probability of that happening. 25%, 44% by the end of May. It doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon. I think we're going to be here in 3 months. I really do. U.S. obtains Iranian enriched uranium. A lot of people believe that some of that over the weekend was an actual raid on the uranium. We don't know. Trump announces the end of military operations against Iran by June 30th. Oh, man, it just doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon. So there was a tremendous news cycle over the weekend, and let's just get right to it. I don't think that I'm going to repeat it because I'll get thrown off of YouTube. And I try to keep my language relatively above the board on these live streams. But Trump unleashes a curse-filled social media rant at Iran after U.S. rescues Colonel, and he got after him. Basically, Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one. Iran adding, just open the effing straight, you crazy, huh? Or you'll be living in, huh? So that's deranged from the president, from the leader of the free world. I don't think anybody was ready for that on Easter, but this rant was pretty intense. So you can see that things are escalating. Trump has been criticized as being taco. Trump always chickens out. I don't know if you guys have heard that. He's not going to chicken out this time. The threats are down. Trump's moved off of so many deadlines now and so many ultimatums. They're going to follow through with this one unless they get a deal. You can see we've got 27 minutes ago, Iran war ceasefire for 45 days being discussed. I don't know that the Iranians are going to do that. I don't know that they're going to take a ceasefire. I think that right now the world of finance is definitely in a state of flux, and in many ways, I mean, I could make the case right now that Iran has a lot of clout. They've got a lot of upper hand. And I know we've seen the videos and we've seen the attacks and all that stuff. I'm not talking about military hardware. That Strait of Hormuz changes everything. And if they can't get it open, if they can't get the oil flowing back to the rest of the world, then you're probably headed towards a recession, a global recession, and it's going to develop relatively quickly. So there's an impetus here to get this done, to get this war done. I don't know if they get a ceasefire. What does a ceasefire do? I talked about it last week. What does it do? All it does is it lets the United States load up on munitions, basically. It's one thing the U.S. is very, very good at. It's good at building bombs and munitions. And a 45-day ceasefire, I think that right now Iran feels like there's a little bit of momentum there. There's questions about the stockpiles of interceptor missiles the United States has. And if you're running out, then you would want a ceasefire. I think it's an incredibly dicey situation. I would really brace myself for some major headlines in the next 18 hours. I really would. I think they're going to hit them hard. And if they do that, if it turns into an energy war, we're going to see crude oil prices explode. That's just the way that it is. I mean, if you want to take a look at crude one more time, I know we look at it religiously every day. It's my specialty. I mean, you see what's happening here with U.S. oil. We are making a run at those highs, those 120 highs. We're almost there. It wouldn't shock me if we go off the board in the next hour and we're up around 118. It would not shock me. So right here, March 2022's highs, that was the big one. Okay, that was sort of the big, what was that, Russian invasion of Ukraine? Something like that, I believe. In any case, that was those highs. I think you're going right there. You're going to 125. I expect us to be at 125. Now, if this turns into an energy war and the United States starts hitting power plants, and some of the things that have been proposed have been really incredible brinksmanship, blowing up water plants, blowing up bridges, blowing up energy infrastructure, that type of thing. If it goes to the energy infrastructure, let's say you do see some hits on Karg Island, you do see some hits on the storage supplies, the storage facilities in Iran, I mean, it's going to explode, because as soon as that happens, the strait's not going to be opened. There's mines there. The Iranians have a tremendous stronghold there right around the Strait of Hormuz. They're not going to open it. And if it doesn't open and if it stays offline for the next 6 months or 9 months, you're looking at a global recession. We will start to see that being priced, and in the next 36 hours could be the beginning of that. We're already seeing the angst priced. As I'm talking, we're up above 114. So, I mean, there's no question about what's happening here. I think that we're really at an inflection point. I mean, that's a 1 minute chart. I mean, it's an uptrend. Boom, break, pull, break. That's easy. So I'm watching this relatively closely. I think you're at 125 relatively soon. No question about it. It's sort of a bummer. I hate talking about this stuff because a lot of you are in the region. A lot of you have been to the region. So I don't, I choose my words carefully. I don't just say things to say them. I think that we're going to see, Trump's not bluffing this time. They're going to light him up. And when that happens, our markets are going to go crazy for a little bit, then they're going to settle down. Just depends on if the operation is successful or not, I don't know that we've ever seen anything like this. 114.25 and climbing. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this. So I can't overstate I cannot overstate how important these next few days are. I would love to see a peace deal and a ceasefire, and I would love to see it. I really would, because I'm not sure how this winds up. I'm not sure. I don't think anybody is. So that's it. I wanted to get us started on the right foot this week, but definitely be careful if you're trading in the next 12 to 18 hours. I expect the headlines to start hitting anytime. I believe that the ultimatum there was up tonight, so there's like 8 hours left in it, and it won't shock me if the U.S. starts hitting early. Won't shock me at all. All right, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. We did long enough. Went over an hour today. I sure thank you for joining me on this Easter Monday. We're going to have the switch markets, the switch on live picks. We're going to go ahead and put that out. That video will be out before before the London session tomorrow. Unfortunately, with the news moving as fast as it is, it's probably going to be old by the time you guys see it. But I'll wait to film that probably right before I go to bed tonight at 10 o'clock or so. We'll do that then, give you the latest on the markets. And then we'll also have the Switch Markets newsletter. Be sure to check that one out as well. Still busy building that one out. Like I said, things are changing so fast that by the time we write something and get it out there, it's already old. So, yeah. All right, everybody. Not much left to say. Get ready. Buckle up for the next 24 hours to 36 hours. Buckle up. It's going to get wild. It's going to get wild. That's for sure. All right, everybody, have a fantastic trading session. If you need anything, head on over to How to Trade. Sign up for your free account. Send me a private message. Just say hi. I'll be sure to get back to you. And then otherwise, I mean, it's the same. It's the same as always, guys. Trade well. Watch your discipline. Watch your leverage. Don't get caught. Don't get caught. This could be crazy. This really could be. But as always, trade the action well, and we'll talk soon. See you.